Good afternoon and welcome to Good Morning 30A. I'm Julie Brown.
And I'm Red Bizard.
And we are joined with Dr. Soto today of the Younger You Institute in Destin, Florida. I was going to say anti-aging, but that's what he specializes in.
Right. The Younger You Florida thing. Yes. Say it one more time.
Younger You Institute.
The Younger
You Institute.
In Destin, Florida.
Okay. Well, tell us what you do.
Well, basically, it's an innovative model of healthcare in which we provide holistic and integrated approach to prevent diseases of aging. All of the things that we do in the U.S. with Alzheimer's, heart disease, cancer, they are preventable. So those are the good news. By doing anti-aging medicine, which is holistic, preventative, and functional, you're able to reverse the aging process.
Really?
At the biological level, and restore your life and optimize your health span. No matter how long you live, I think the key on anti-aging is to optimize the years throughout when you become, whether it's 40, 50, 60, up to 100 or even longer than that, like in some areas of the world. The key is to have a good quality of life and a good state of health and mind.
Now, is there a starting point for this kind of thing, whether it's the brain, whether it's, different...
Where do we jump off?
Where does somebody begin with an anti-aging treatment?
How we approach anti-aging medicine in a holistic way is to start in a process of rejuvenating your cells and rejuvenating your systems by assessing brain function. Ultimately, all the things that we do in anti-aging is going to impact the brain, the nutrition, the balancing of hormonal in women and men.
He looked at you.
I saw that, and I was thinking, did Summer just call or what? What's going on here?
Detoxification is important because we live in an era of significant pollution in the environment, and optimizing your nutrient status. All of these things, eventually what we'll accomplish is to improve your organ systems and impacting health in your brain. So how you start is, in general, first we look at the nutrition of the individual. We fix the intestinal function, we fix the gut, we optimize the immune system, and we balance the hormones and detoxify the individual to the point that all these systems, when they work together, you reach to a point of optimal.
And how do you go about doing that?
Is it herbs? Is it medicine?
The ideal situation is to look first at what the patients are ingesting to begin with.
Okay.
We have a lot of toxins, unfortunately, in the environment, from the supermarket to the pollution that we live in America. So we try to avoid any potential toxicants. And then to enhance the nutritional status with supplements. As a matter of fact, there is plenty of wealth of information in the medical literature that nutritionals are more potent than pharmaceutical drugs. And that way we can achieve optimal health by enhancing the nutrition status of the patient. We fix the gut by doing analysis of the intestinal function, such as stool analysis, as simple as that, to correct those dysfunctions in the gut. We remove metals from the body. We replace natural bioidentical hormones in order to accomplish that balance that occurs as we age.
Then you do this with the kind of food that we eat, or you said supplements, is like Chinese herbs, for example, or? Yeah,
there is a variety of supplements, whether nutrients, vitamins, minerals, some herbals that are available. It's been available for thousands of years. That's how medicine was practiced.
I was going to say, are you just kind of trying to go back to the way it originally was, in a sense, and get all of the...
Go back to basics, go back to physiology and the maintaining the function of the organism in order to optimize the cellular function of every single organ that we have, with nutrients, minerals, vitamins that strongly affect how we perform our functions.
Now, once we get our inside healthy, you can also help us get our outside healthy, correct?
That's true. At the Younger You Institute, we offer aesthetic medicine, and usually patients will tell me first that they want to feel better before they want to look better.
Right.
And once we get to that point, we can offer them other interventions to heal the skin. For example, laser therapy on the skin, whether it's in the face, the chest, the arms, the abdomen, improve the health of the skin, along with the nutritionals, along with the bioidentical hormones and detoxification. And remember, there is no magic bullet even doing aesthetic medicine. We have to put the pieces together from the inside out, like you pointed out, in order to have a great effect on an interventional procedure such as laser.
Well, and do you find that once you are getting your insides healthier and balanced and working that they are, that the outside starts to just look better by itself because you're healthier all the way through. So reason, as people's skin can be unhealthy for so many reasons, I imagine a lot of it is because we eat the wrong foods and we put toxins in our system, and people who have broken blood vessels around their noses, which they cover nicely with makeup, that's because they might drink too much alcohol. So if you're balancing your inside, that's going to help your outside.
Definitely.
I would imagine.
As a matter of fact, if we perform interventions for aesthetic procedures and we don't take care of the inner portion of the individual,
right,
you may get unhappy about the results because you have not attacked the cause on the underlying problem of the dysfunction.
Makes complete
So that's
sense.
very key, even in aesthetic procedures, to optimize the health of the individual.
Now, you said earlier that, and I see here that you're specializing also in autism spectrum disorders, which you say are defeatable. And so what you said to me earlier was, that our brain function has a lot to do with how healthy we are. And how do you go about working on that?
Yeah. Both kids and adults have, unfortunately, in this era, been affected by a variety of factors that creates a lot of dysfunctions and accelerated aging. And looking at kids, for example, all of the things that we deal with, even in adults, impacts how the brain is developed. So we can assess the brain function using brain mapping in order to determine what's their neurotransmitter function, those chemicals of the brains that give us youth, and balancing those brain neurotransmitters will restore the function of the kids with autism. We also look in the kids' nutrition. We look at gastrointestinal function. We look at the immune system, and we aim to detoxify and to prevent more harm to their brain by looking at the environment and looking at the foods that they eat and improving the nutritional status. So it's all interconnected. We're all in the spectrum of autism, whether we're adults or whether we're children. We all seem to be affected in one way or another, up to different degree, by the same factors that can create problems.
Sounds amazing.
It does.
It sounds really, it makes me want to jump in.
Yeah, and I think that'd be very exciting for the parents of autistic children to find something like
So how do we get in touch with you?
Oh, very
If we want to just even have consultation and see, I feel like I need to be a little healthier today, how do I get in touch with you?
Yeah, we are the Younger You Institute in Destin, Florida, and you can call us at 424-6058, or we have a website, yyinstitute.com. The Younger You Institute, that's what it stands for.
That makes sense.
And we'll be glad to help you with any of your healthy needs.
That's wonderful. Now, Dr. Soto, how long have you been in this country? I see that you're from Ecuador.
Yeah, I'm from Ecuador, about 20 years. And I practice what I preach, so I'm getting younger myself too.
Awesome. That's why I said.
You look good.
That's why I said to her. I said, "You're too young to be practicing."
Exactly.
To have all this background. Served as a medical director at the UAB Stroke Center in Birmingham, and the Regional Stroke Center at Sacred Heart Hospital in Pensacola. And so now you're here, and we can get in touch with you. And you still work with the stroke patients?
Yeah, I do a lot of neurological work with patients with Parkinson's. Alzheimer's is preventable. Stroke patients, heart attacks, cancer, fibromyalgia, different conditions that we can be restored to health as long as we pay attention to all the things that we discussed earlier.
That's wonderful.
Sure, you got a lot of people, their
My
interest
pleasure.
peaked out there without a doubt.
I know, absolutely. Mine is truly. I'd love to have a sit down with you. So thank you so much.
welcome.
Guys, we're going to be right back. Thank you, Dr. Soto, for being with us. Also, thank you, Santa Rosa Golf and Beach Club, for being one of our wonderful sponsors, which is where we're broadcasting from now. And we'll be back in a minute or 5, or however many. Bye.
Bye-bye.
The amazing thing about penguins is that when a penguin chooses a mate, a best mate, they stay together for life, no matter what.
Everything looks so dark, and there's every bit of accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative. Latch on to the affirmative, don't mess with Mr. In Between.
afternoon and welcome back to Good Morning 30A. I'm Julie Brown alongside with Red, and we are joined with Ronnie McBrayer. He is the storyteller, scribbler, and seeker. Correct?
Did I say good morning or good afternoon?
You can say both.
Well,
technically,
it's whatever.
we just try to confuse the folks out there. That's what we try to do. Yes. So tell us, you got a new book coming out.
I do.
Tell us about it.
It's called Leaving Religion, Following Jesus. It's my third book, and I write as well for the Walton Sign and Freedom Communications papers right here in the Kansas as well.
Well, you're a busy guy.
I am, but it's a lot of fun.
And you have a different approach to religion, correct?
I do. The fundamental approach in this latest book is that we have made a mistake as to the whole purpose of why Jesus came, and it was not to establish a religion, but to establish a way of life. And I think we have taken his words and his ways, and we have so institutionalized them. We've made them what, and we all do that to some degree. We all read whatever religious text that we are committed to. We read with lenses and glasses that are of our own making from time to time. But certainly when you look at the primitive Jesus and his message of loving God and loving your neighbor, it seems that 2,000 years of Christian history has really added a lot of baggage to that.
So you're going back to the basics, making it simple in a way?
We're trying to do that.
Back to the basics.
Yeah, well, I mean that in a good way.
Yeah, it isn't in a very good way. The book itself focuses on the Gospel of Luke, where Jesus makes a journey. Some scholars call it the Great Journey, Luke 9 to Luke 18, and he is progressing toward the city of God, Jerusalem. And as he makes this journey, he's coming up into all this conflict with the religious establishment, and at the same time making great inroads with those that the religious community have often painted as outside the circles. Jesus is inviting them in, while his greatest words of condemnation are for those that are pious, or in their own eyes consider themselves right.
Now, how do you go about researching something like this? I mean, it's like you said, the religions are, we've built them into what we want them to be institutionally, and so how do you go back and try to get through the fluff?
Well, all of us have to begin by unpacking some of our own fluff and stuff, our own religious experiences.
Right.
And a great many of the folks that I correspond with via the internet in my writings that I talk with are folks who have had some very difficult experiences with religion as we have known it. And painful experiences.
Well, look at the current war that we're involved in, and the basics of it are two very polarized groups of people. So
exactly, and I think to some degree there we have fallen into the old trap of making crusade an issue, religious crusade, and Christendom, which is probably the best term to describe
Christendom. I like that.
Our corporate history in North America has been a system where political, religious, and economic power have all been welded together.
Yeah, even though we call it separation of church and state.
Right, because the first Christians in North America showed up with swords and said, "We're here to bring you good news. Now obey," or
the Puritans, etc.
And even when we've put our sword away, we've continued to use economic, political, social manipulation in the same ways. And that era, I think, to a large degree, has to come to an end for something of more substance and simplicity to be born into the world.
It sounds like a very interesting read and an interesting point of view. I'm sure it will be controversial in some ways. Mm-hmm. Now, when is it actually coming out? Because I hear you don't even have a copy yourself, so we can't show it to you.
It's classic book publishing. It was due out in April, and then May, and then June, but it will be
2 more weeks. Like any other thing.
Available in mid-July.
That's wonderful. And you said this is your third.
It
so you have two. Look, I can count. You have two previous to that. Are they on this basically same subject, or?
No, the first book is called But God Meant It for Good, and it catalogs in narrative form the character Joseph from the Old Testament. I first met Joseph in church Sunday school as a child when he put up on a little flannel board.
Right, yes.
Himself terrible there.
No, I'm right.
With his coat of many colors.
No, I remember that.
And So it's called "But God Meant It for Good," which is a quote directly from the book of Genesis. And then the second book is called "Keeping the Faith," which is a collection of my articles from Freedom Communication Papers, 60 of those.
Oh, awesome. So if we missed any, if you weren't reading the Walton Sun,
That's right. You can
every Saturday, be sure you do that. So you're in the Sun every Saturday, and any other local publications, because you said it was Freedom Press.
Freedom Communications carries those over sometimes into Panama City and the Destin markets as well.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Do you still go around doing any speaking at all, or do you mainly keep it pen and paper?
I speak primarily here at Seagrove Beach. Our little communion is called Simple Faith, appropriately enough. And so we gather every Sunday at 9:30, and it's a collection of folks from varied religious backgrounds and who are simply seeking.
And
so we have a lot of fun with that.
Can we
sometimes
tell
don't
the
use fun and
location of
religion
it?
together. Yeah, it's next door to the Seagrove Market on 395, the corner of 395 and 38.
Okay, that's good.
And obviously a lot of people these days, because religion is, so many different feelings, so many different thoughts and beliefs. If somebody has, they're troubled with something or they're torn between something, can they contact you and talk to you and get your point of view on something?
Absolutely, because the approach we take at A Simple Faith, and the approach I take in my writings as well, is not to inflict my conclusions upon anyone, but simply to share and then for us to journey together.
Right.
And granted, in my writings and in my personal life, I consider myself a follower of Christ. I think sometimes that's much broader than what we
And I like that. I like what you're saying. Is it feels more welcoming rather than, I'm a devout Catholic or I'm a devout whatever it is. It sounds nice that it feels like you have open arms as far as who you welcome into your...
Well, our approach often has been that Jesus stands in the way rather than being the way.
I like that.
And I think that has to change.
That's wonderful. Ronnie, thank you so much for coming out. Look for Ronnie in the newspaper. And if you can get in touch with him at ronniemcbrayer.net. And your church is on 9:30 in the morning on Sundays. Simple Faith. So
look out for the book.
Guys, we'll be right back. We will be back in just a moment. And I'd like to thank Pete and Air and Plumbing and also Massage Envy, your two terrific sponsors. And I already thanked the Beach Club, but I'll do it again. And 30A Radio. All right, we'll be back.
Santa Rosa Golf and Beach Club is nestled between the Emerald Coast's favorite attractions. Sugar white beaches and thriving woodlands, we have it all. 18 challenging golf holes with newly renovated greens that wind through the pure white sands, pristine ponds, and lush vegetation of the Santa Rosa Beach area. Extending from the Gulf of Mexico inland, Santa Rosa's sheer beauty and golfing enjoyment is a must for the avid and casual golfer. Golf Magazine calls it the purest golf on the Panhandle. A good breeze is almost always blowing across the course, making even the hottest summer day a good golf day. And by the way, in the winter months, the Gulf warms the air, providing a pleasant golf day, even during those not-so-warm winter months. We offer a fully equipped pro shop featuring a great selection of clubs, bags, apparel, and golf accessories. Breakfast and lunch are served daily in Mulligan's Grill, along with a full bar that is moderately priced. The Beach Club restaurant offers an amazing golf view from any table, plus refreshing outdoor seating on our expansive terrace. The dining room regularly hosts live entertainment and events. Our fun and elegant atmosphere provides the perfect setting for a family night out, lunchtime with the ladies, or a romantic dinner for two. We also offer a full-service bar so you can enjoy your favorite cocktail while watching the most amazing sunsets around. Whether it's lounging around the pool, fine dining with a golf view, or strolling along the private beach, Santa Rosa Golf and Beach Club is the perfect spot for a golf or family getaway. To find out more, call 850-267-1240 That's 850-267-1240. Or go to santarosaclub.com.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Good Morning 30A. I'm Julie Brown.
And I'm not telling you who I am. I'm Red Bizarre.
We're joined by Ann Harriet of the Feline Friends of Destin. Welcome.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
So you do a wonderful service for all the little kitty cats in the area.
Yes, actually we started in Destin 12 years ago, and we've been supporting the city of Destin with trap, neuter, return programs. And we also rescue kitties that are tame and adopt them out of PetSmart. And so we're a member of PetSmart too.
Oh, is that where those cats come from at PetSmart?
Oh, no. They go back into the wild, the feral cats.
The feral ones
So you do
too.
the important part of spaying and neutering.
Neutering, yes,
to
and
get them
make
back
sure
out.
they have all their vaccinations and everything. And of course, if we have some little kittens that we rescue in that situation, we bottle feed them and they are tame, and we can adopt them out.
That's what I meant.
So they get to have a good home.
Wonderful.
You know, whereas before they would have to live out their life in the wild.
Okay.
And you must have a bunch of volunteers that help you out apparently to foster these kitties while they're...
Yes, speaking of that, we need more foster homes. We do have some volunteers that foster cats and kittens, and that's one of the things we're in dire need of is foster homes. And it really is a lot of fun because you can have the pets, and we also need them for adult cats, and you get to have the pleasure of the pets without having a long-term responsibility, like maybe if you're a military family that can't have pets, you know, for a long time, you get transferred a lot. Or if you're just in a short-term situation on a trip only a year long, you could have a pet with you.
That's wonderful.
Help us out.
And you're the new president. You said
Yes.
there's a new board or something.
Yeah,
You want to tell
I'm
us?
the new president, and we have a new board since January. And we have two veterinarians on our board, Dr. Bloomer and Dr. Dorothea Jones, who are the emergency room vets. And we have Rachel Simmerly, our secretary, and Joseph Maras, our vice president.
Wonderful. And how did this start?
Well, we started 12 years ago in Destin. Whiskers Friends and Alley Cat Allies was one of the inspirations.
Cute names.
Their Whiskers Friends was from the local area, and Alley Cat Allies is a national trap, neuter, return group that you can find online at alleycatallies.com, and we're at felinefriendsofdestin.com. But we started out because they needed a non-lethal and humane control of animals, and especially cats. And the restaurants and all of the different areas, marinas, were having trouble with feral cats.
Right.
And we started Trap, Neuter, Return, and it has stabilized it in the area. It's been very successful.
So if somebody finds a litter, of cats outside that they can't get to them themselves to try to bring them in, is that what they do? Call you? You guys will come out and trap, neuter?
Yes, just give me a call at 850-837-3869, and we'll come out and we'll trap the adult cats and get them spayed or neutered and vaccinated, and then they'll come back to a feeding station, and any kittens that are young enough, we can socialize them and adopt them out. But they need to be pretty young,
Right.
At least 6 weeks of age or younger.
Okay.
So they can have a totally perfect, wonderful home.
Well, and the fostering, I think, is great, too, because that gets them used to other animals sometimes. It gets them used to people, the bonding situation, so it must be easier to
Oh, it's wonderful.
get them out and get a good home.
So you're needing volunteer foster homes
Yes.
right now, and
People who can help us do fundraisers.
I was going to say, how do you fund these things?
We do it purely by donations, so it's very hard. We have to have some small fundraisers, and we have some people on a regular basis that give us some donations. And if you look around Destin, you'll see some little donation boxes around the city where people will put a donation in at your popular restaurants there, like TGI Fridays and
Right.
Harbor Docks, and Hog's Breath has a donation box. A lot of them support us.
Now, what about food and things? If somebody wanted to donate kitty litter or food or something, is that an option as well?
Oh, that's a great option. We need a lot of dry cat food and kitty litter.
It's an expense to be a foster parent, so anything
Very
like that is
expensive,
great.
Yeah, and we do try to provide the food and some of the kitty litter, but most of the foster parents
Yeah,
do
you're
provide
doing
a
a
lot
good
of
thing.
the stuff on
Yeah,
their own.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, you're doing a wonderful thing, that's for sure. We thank you, because as an animal lover myself, I think it's a wonderful thing.
Well, we really enjoy it, and all of us are big kitty cat lovers and animal lovers in general. So if you want to adopt any kittens or volunteer in the PetSmart Adoption Center, we need people there and people to help us do some trap, neuter, return, run the kitties to the vets, and all kinds of things, because we can fit you in doing all kinds of fun things. And if you don't like to actually go, you know, clean up at the adoption center, we need computer literate people who can do some newsletters and things like that and help us out there.
So any help that we can give, any help that anyone can give, you're really kind of needing a little bit of everything.
We need a little bit of everything, especially foster homes right now. So.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you for doing what you do and for coming out and sharing with us. And keep it up.
Well,
there's lots of cat lovers out there, so
thank you for having me, and we're having a lot of fun at PetSmart.
I can't go in there without walking by.
we always go in to buy a little fish, and then Paul always turns around and looks for me. Where's it? Oh, I'm over by the kitties again.
Well, come over and I'll show you some cute ones.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. Santa Rosa Golf and Beach Club, thank you very much for being one of our sponsors. Massage Envy and Peden Air and Plumbing.
30A Radio.
And 30A Radio. Thank you. I forgot, it's been a couple weeks since I've done this gig. Speaking of gigs, the winner of the question of the day is Steve. And for those of you who don't know, my name is Red, and yes, I'm a singer, and my latest gig is at Lumpy's Wine Bar, which is located in Baytown, in the village of Baytown Wharf. Oh. And I'm going to be there on Mondays from 7:30 to 9:30, and on...
He said Humpy's.
Oh, so he didn't get it right?
Want to give it to him?
Give it to Humpy's, Lumpy's, that's pretty close. We'll go with it. It's a typing error, right? We're going to go with that. And on Thursday, and on Thursdays. But Ann, thank you very much for coming.
It was a lot of fun.
Thank you so much. I'll tune in next week. We'll see you then.
Have a good one.
Okay, my name is Ophelia Murphy. I am the Walton County CERC Coordinator. I've been doing this for 2 years. The purpose of this evening's meeting is to try and get information out about hurricane season. From what the NOAA stations and all the weather channels are reporting, we're supposed to have a pretty normal hurricane season, but it's never a bad idea to get prepared. The best thing to do is make sure that you yourself, your family, and your home are always taken care of. You have your evacuation plan. If you are deciding to stay, make sure that your house is secure for yourself and your family, that you have your kits ready with 3 days of water and meals in case you need to you stay in shelter in place. And also, if you are traveling, the most important thing is if you do evacuate, do it early. As soon as the county or the sheriff's department gets information out to you that you should evacuate your area, that is the first thing you do. Pack your belongings, your personal belongings. Do not forget your pictures, important papers, and just get on the road, but do it early. You do not want to get caught in the road during the middle of the storm, and no one's going to be out there to help you. So that's the reason we're here tonight. We could never push enough, the importance of the evacuations and of doing them early. And I hope everyone in the county is safe. Thank you very much.